Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are here again. And you can see we have our dear sister here. So, many of you will have been surprised by the church in Ephesus, Revelations 2, 1-7. But hold your seat tight. We are going to the next church, which is the church in Smyrna, which is Revelation 2, verse 8-11. You remember from the first church, our message must go with love, must go with our truth. Spirit must go with our truth. And grace must also accompany our message of truth. Keep that at the back of your mind because we are going to the next church now. Yes.
All right. It's like means Revelation still scary now. From what you are hearing so far, does it still look scary?
No.
How come? Brother said he has only read Revelation one time because it looks scary.
I don't like it at all. Because for the first time, it would be like you are reading mystery already. So I just drop it. Whoa. Don't worry. I have eternal life already. I shouldn't worry about any time yet.
Well, it's like me back in the days we say that what's my problem about I'm going to heaven? I know I'm going to go to heaven. Leave me alone, right? It's like you remember? I think one of the reasons why it's difficult, it sounds scary and difficult was that people who were teaching us, some of them don't really know it. Some have a motive in their heart. They just love to whip people. For example, now, the walk we saw in Ephesus, I have heard about that part. You see, your works. Jesus is concerned about your works.
What you do for Christ matters.
Yeah, you see, but what he's talking about in the background of Ephesus, what was going on? These were a persecuted church. I'm doing a research on church history, and in today's reading, we'll also read a story from church history about this church in Smyrna. This one is not in the Bible, but it's in the history of Christianity. What these people went through, the persecution they went through. What Satan wanted to do was to kill the gospel. It was killing them. It would free them. It entered into the Roman Empire, the emperor of that time. It would give them to lions. Lions would eat them alive. Some of them, they would nail them on the cross. Some of them, they would set up bonfire and set them on fire. But the more he does that, the more the gospel was spreading. People were becoming stronger in the faith. You know what Satan did? We will find out about that into this reading. He changed his strategy. He entered the church and told the church. The emperor said, if the emperor saw vision, he saw cross and he saw conquer. He called a Christian. He said, I'm now a Christian. He said, how to become a Christian? That was the mistake of the church. According to church history, that was the mistake of the church. He just said, I become a Christian. So he entered into the church. He was the one that hijacked the church and taught them how to bring emperor, governor, mayor. So they brought pope, bishop, laymen. It was never God's plan to make church a religious organization. We will learn this in today's reading. So you see that Revelation is interesting. It's good we're going to this background. So let's read Revelation chapter 2, verses 8-11. So the church we're focusing on today is Smyrna, the church in Smyrna. I mean, this is one of the churches that never got any rebuke in these 7 churches.
Yeah.
So let's see what's special about this church.
And to the angel of the church in Smyrna write, these things says, the first and the last, who was dead and came to life. Verse 9. I know your works, tribulations, and poverty, but you are rich. And I know the blasphemy of those who say they are Jews and are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. Do not fear any of those things which you are about to suffer. Indeed, the devil is about to throw some of you into prison, that you may be tested, and you will have tribulation 10 days. Be faithful until death, and I will give you the crown of life. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. He who overcomes shall not be hurt by the second death.
Ooh.
So first death can kill you. The second death.
This church is interesting to me.
Wow.
I don't know, before when we read things like this, these people that taught us Bible, I don't know where they came from. Anyway, let me just give you a preamble before we go into this church. It's a short one, but deep. I remember, Brother Charles, when we started this Bible study group, as the demand was increasing, when we started, we were teaching John casually. The demands were not much. I wasn't working till there was time. They got to a point, the demands were much. We can't preach rubbish. And I was working 40 hours a week. You were busy. I wish, at that point, I'm a full-time pastor. I won't be working. I'll just be studying the Bible. But I've got bills to pay. The struggles was much. It's still much now, but I've taken my cross. It's a struggle. But one of the reasons why I took my cross and I look at it as a struggle was one day when I stumbled on 2 Timothy. Can we see 2 Timothy chapter 2, verses 10 to 12?
All right. So I am willing to endure anything if it will bring salvation and eternal glory in Jesus Christ to those whom God has chosen. This is a trustworthy saying. If we die with him, we also live with him. If we endure hardship, we will reign with him. If we deny him, he will deny us. If we are unfaithful, he remains faithful. He cannot deny who he is. Remind everyone.
Go on. Is that all about that verse? Is that all?
Yes.
So when I saw that verse, I think we discussed it in those days. We discussed a lot. That was one of the reasons, one of the strengths that gave me strength in this journey, that is a struggle. See, the struggle for preaching the truth most of the time does not come with comfort. See, today's reading is a comfort to those who are struggling for the truth. It's not all the time. If it is God, it will be good. Remember those kind of rhymes. If it is not good, it is not God. G-O-O-D, God. Just remove one. It may be God, at times it's not good.
Yeah.
That's an encouragement for those who are struggling for the truth. But Charles, you and I know that with what we know, with the amount of revelation in my brain, if I want to go the Nigerian line, I would have made so much money. We would have, oh God, we would have made money. But woe be us if we trade or commercialize the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ. We will not go that line. No, we will not go that line. No. So today's teaching is an encouragement to all those who are struggling for the purpose of the gospel. The owner of the church has a word for you.
Oh, yes.
Don't forget, this statement is from the owner of the church. And to the angel of the church in Smyrna, write. Now, these things, the first and the last, that is the owner of the church talking, who was dead and came to life. It says again here, I know your works. I know your works, tribulations and poverty, but you are rich. Wow. Let's talk about this minor church. Let's before we go into these deep things, let's talk about them. Do you know that there is no other reference about this church in the New Testament?
Yeah.
As for Ephesus, it was reference.
We have Acts 19.
You know why? We don't really have why. Bible didn't give us why. But silence in the Bible is also a message.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you insert what is not there. But silence at times can be very loud. Let me tell you, it could be they are small.
Insignificant.
Jesus himself said they are poor. They don't have crowd. They are insignificant. But the owner of the church knows them. They may be small, They may be poor, but they have one thing. They have the true gospel.
Yeah.
They have the true light. And Jesus knows them. And this is a lesson to us right now. We always make this statement that we don't know if there are good churches in Nigeria. We don't know. But I must tell you from when I saw this that there are churches in Nigeria that are preaching the gospel.
We just don't
They
know.
may not be popular. They may not be much, but Jesus knows them.
Yeah.
And this is going to be our encouragement. If you know any church, little one, insignificant, that is preaching the gospel, please support them.
Yeah. Do every means to support them.
Yeah. Let's remember to pray for those kind of churches. My friend was serving somewhere in Abeokuta in the village, in a remote village. And on a Sunday morning, the only church, the Methodist church in that village, was pastored by a Methodist priest who went to the farm Saturday night and is going to come back on Sunday morning, then he will go and officiate. Wow. Because the church can't pay his bill. So he's going to be in the farm all week. So he will make his journey back to the village Saturday overnight. So he will get to the town on Sunday morning. They will go and officiate on the service. Wow. But do you know he can make money if he's a liar? The villagers will say their yam and bring the money.
I bring the money to. Oh yes. They will even sacrifice their children and they will do whatever to bring the money.
I saw a prophet today who has a church in the village, big pillarless church, and he drives the Prado Jeep.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's Nekiti. It's Nekiti. The church is Nekiti. Big pillarless church, and he drives a black Prado Jeep with a driver. It's in the village.
You will have protocol. You will have convo.
So it's the fact that the man is going to the village, to the farm, and is coming overnight. It's not that. It's just that that's the part he has chosen. If you want to tell lies, you can make money. It's not about where you are. In as much as a human being, there you can deceive them.
In fact, they will leave the city and go into the bush to go and meet him.
Yeah.
The prophet.
Yeah.
And
So
the ones in the village will double their work.
Yeah.
So if we know any church of Christ, significant like this minor church, if you know whatever, don't overlook them. You know, we have been deceived that if it's not glamorous, many of us, I don't know about you, many of us, if we go to Nigeria or we know any church that is not glamorous, we just automatically assume
there's no God.
There's no God. From today, we need to know that it's not about size.
Let me make you laugh. You know, the church we go today, 4.5 to 5 years ago, when we used to come to see this our house, we would drive past the church, and I would look at the number of cars and say, "All these small churches, no." I was judging by the number of cars.
Yeah.
Though they were doing construction, they would just say, "These people are struggling. I wish I can just branch and just give them $1,000." Just say, "Well, Jesus will help them."
Yeah. So it's not about the size. It's not about the color. It's not about the music. It's not about the glamour. It's about the God, the gospel, the truth, the light of Christ that is shining. You know, we've been damaged. And part of that damage is that if it is not shining, if it is not glamorous, then God is not there. And that's what we're going to be learning.
If you are suffering, check your offering. So for this church to be in tribulation, like the Bible is saying now, that means they don't have any big bishop they are giving their tithes to.
So Jesus said something. He said, verse 9, I know your works, your tribulation and poverty. We did this in the last episode. When you see works there, don't let anybody put fear in your heart. We are saved by grace. We are saved by grace through faith, not of works. So he's not talking about work of the law. Here he's talking about, if you see the connection, your works, your tribulation, and poverty. Now, why were they poor? I've said that this look at verse this same verse 9. Some people are of synagogue of Satan. In other words, there is a religious group, a religious cult that have taken over this city. They control the hospital if there was. They control the government. Yes, there was government. They control the business. They control the housing. So they made life difficult for these believers. As a result, they were struggling to survive because nobody would do business with them. Now, in the midst of this struggle, they were poor. Jesus said, yet you are rich. Why will he say that? Because today we have been made to focus on these physical riches much more than what Jesus sees. So 1 Peter chapter 1 verses 3 to 5. What really is the riches of a believer? 1 Peter chapter 1 verses 3 to 5.
All praise to God, the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. It is by his great mercy that we have been born again, because God raised Christ Jesus from the dead. Now we live with great expectation. We have a priceless inheritance.
Where is it kept?
An inheritance that is kept in heaven for you, pure and undefiled, beyond the reach of change and decay. And through your faith, God is protecting you by his power until you receive this salvation, which is ready to be revealed on the last day for all to see.
So, the true riches of a believer is not in the bank. Because if that was the case, then look at the commendation Jesus gave to this poor, broke church. You know why they were rich? You know, at the beginning of this interaction, the church is supposed to shine lights. So apparently, the light of the gospel is shining in this church. They know the true God. They are rich in righteousness. They are rich in justice. They are rich in showing forth Christ. But another thing that we have to open up in this verse 9 is the source of this persecution. And I know the blaspheming of those who say they are Jews and they are not, but are synagogue of Satan. This persecution is religiously motivated.
That's true.
This persecution, what's a synagogue? Synagogue is an assembly of men. So these people are human beings, but Satan is in their midst. In the history of the church, in the early history of the church, the Christians were few. The Roman Empire was ruling then, and the emperor was persecuting the church. Later on, the emperor metamorphosized, like I've said, he entered them because as he was killing them, they did not give up. So he said, I've become born again. He now joined them. So when he joined them, he introduced something into the church called religion. The church was never religious. They don't have name. Can you imagine Jesus addressing 7 churches, no name? Oh, maybe it's the lesson. I think one is CAC. Another one is TAC. Another one is SAC. No. Church has never been religious. It was at this point that it began. So he entered them, turned the church to a religious organization. The greatest problem of the church is isms, ISMS, structure, human organization, organized religion. You know, we used to talk about organized religion when organized religion came from Tower of Babel. Yeah. We will learn about that as we progress in this journey. When church became an organized religion, that was the beginning of the problem of the church. And let me tell you why I say that. Today it's like, baby, if you speak against big organized denominations today,
if you are a tailor, you have lost 80% of your customers.
True or false?
That's true.
If I'm your boss, and you join Brother Charles to be preaching this gospel, of just know you have lost your job. So when people say, what's my business with these 7 churches? It's applicable. It's a prophecy of what was happening and what will still happen. Today, some people will not even call us to come and preach. They will not even give us preaching engagement because of this kind of things we are preaching. We are saying there are no apostles again. We are just calling for proper explanation of scripture. Because of that, there are some things that will not work for us again.
Yep. Very true.
We said that in the last episode. One of us used to have a big daycare. As soon as she joined us, she lost everything. She became mad, mad at us. We brought bad luck.
let me read this from Bible commentary.
Okay.
It says that the one behind persecution is really Satan or the devil. He may use religious individuals or groups as his instruments in persecuting the faithful. Only but God never promises a believer a suffering-free life on this side of eternity. He promises them his presence in every situation.
In every situation. So Satan is the principal actor in every organized religion. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. Satan, 2 Corinthians 4:4. Satan is the principal actor in every organized religion. 2 Corinthians 4:4.
You see, don't go around preaching about ourselves. Sorry, you see, we don't go around preaching about ourselves. Oh, sorry, I'm starting from 5.
4:4.
4, okay. Satan, who is the God of this world, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe. They are unable to see the glorious light of the good news. They don't understand this message about the glory of Christ, who is the exact likeness of God.
So Satan, the God of this world, has blinded the mind of those who don't believe the power of the glorious gospel. So what is the purpose of organized religion? Organized religion puts form. So when you say holiness now, organized religion gives you uniform. You wear white.
They give you code of conduct. How to be holy.
So when you say, let your life be a sweet smelling savor, they bring incense. They put everything into tangible forms. You know the danger of tangible forms? When our eyes are on many things in worship, very soon we will have 10 things we are focusing on. Then Jesus will be the 11th thing.
Yeah.
And very soon everything will be identical. Very soon you'll not be able to spot Christ again because you have mixed it with many figures. Very soon Jesus is gone. Then you are holding on to many things you have been looking. That's why Hebrews said, looking only unto Jesus.
I can give you a quick example.
The author and the preacher of our faith.
If you're in white garment churches, those candles, some people are there, they are so distracted by the candle not going off that they forget everything in service, that their goal is just, the way it goes off, they go light it back again.
Yeah.
Because that candle.
I used to be an altar boy in the Catholic Church back in the days. That's our job. I can tell you, I can't remember anything said in the church, but we must make sure the candle doesn't go out. We must make sure the incense is burning well, because that's what religion does. Religion gives you many things to hold. So you have 10 things you are focusing on, then Jesus is number 11th. Then because there are many, they look alike, then Jesus Christ will start looking like all of them. Then very soon you won't be able to spot who is Jesus. Then very soon Jesus is out, and you're holding on to the 11 things or 10 things and activities. That was what Satan did in the church.
Yeah. And that is the reason why God told us not to make any image of anything.
Yes.
Because if you make image of anything, very soon. Can you remember when you start going to church that does mantle, faith worship, very soon your faith is in that thing.
Yes.
Like just you said, your faith was in
anointing oil.
your faith was in giving than in Christ, because you have held on to many things. Very soon, that Jesus will be out. But a true believer has no focus but Christ. So you won't lose him. But the moment your eyes is on this, very soon you will lose him. So that was what Satan brought into these 7 churches. And in Smyrna's case, they did not bow. And because they did not bow, this organized religion, spearheaded by Satan, look at what he did. Do not fear for those things which you are about to suffer. Indeed, the devil, see the ugly head behind organized religion is the devil. He's about to throw some of you in prison, which he did, and that you may be tested. You will have tribulation 10 days. In other words, what you are going through is a short time. Just endure. Don't give up. Be faithful until death, and I will give you the crown of life. So there's hope here. Hope in the midst of fear. Hope in the midst of suffering. Hope in the midst of persecution. Hope in the midst of death. Hope in their present situation. But what is the hope now? What is the hope? Because Satan is not, see, oh my God, God is billions of years ahead of Satan. Let me tell you why I said that. He was persecuting these people, trying to squeeze them to succumb. But you know, when God was giving judgment in Genesis 3, judgment when Satan tempted Adam and Eve. In verse 15, Satan was there, Eve was there, Adam was there. Yeah, they were all there when the judgment was on, that the seed of the woman will bruise her head. Eve thought she's that woman. And I'll tell you why she thought that. She thought like that. She gave birth to Cain and Abel. You know the meaning of Abel? Abel means breath. You see, breath. Breath of God.
So
that's in Greek. That's the Hebrew meaning of Abel. Breath. Satan thought, that is the breath that will bruise my head. He entered Cain to kill Abel. What? Jesus Christ is going to come 4,000 years after that statement. See, God is way 4,000 years after he made that statement. Then Satan thought he would have killed Abel. 4,000 years after that time. That's when Christ is coming. You are way behind. So when he's squeezing this church, he's killing these people, that is how the gospel spread. Because in our weakest form is yet God's strongest. See, when people go for deliverance service, it's because either they are not born again. Because when we are weakest, when evil spirits, evil powers want to crush you, your down moment, that's where God is strong. In fact, when you don't know how to pray, when you don't even have what to say, that's where God, that's where he wants to prove himself. And I will tell you why. Exodus 1. Let's go to Exodus 1. Exodus 1, 8 to 12. Exodus 1.
8
to 12.
Eventually,
before we go into that, let's give a background. Who is Pharaoh? If I had known this, we would have done the picture of Pharaoh. But okay, let's go ahead. Who is Pharaoh? Pharaoh is not just a king. Pharaoh is an epitome of Satan. His crown is two serpents. Serpent, we will see that in Revelation 12. Serpent is a physical emblem of Satan on earth, like branding. When you see cross, you know it's a church, right?
Yeah.
When you see BMW, you know the logo. When you see Toyota, that round one. When you see Benz, the round and the something. When you see Apple, for example, like me, I have an HP Apple. My computer is HP, but I have an Apple sticker on it. So that's branding, that's logo. The visible logo of Satan on earth is serpent. That was why the writer of Genesis called what happened in Genesis 3 as the serpent tempted. So now, Pharaoh, who wears the logo of Satan, made a decree. So Exodus 1, 8 to 12.
Eventually, a new king came into power in Egypt who knew nothing about Joseph or what he had done. He said to his people, "Look, the people of Israel not outnumbers us and are stronger than us. We must make a plan to keep them from growing even more. If we don't, and if war breaks out, they will join our enemies and fight against us, and they will escape from the country." So the Egyptians made the Israelites as slaves, their slaves. They appointed brutal slave drivers over them, hoping to wear them down with crushing labor. They forced them to build the cities of Pithom and Ramses as supply centers for the king. But the more the Egyptians oppressed them, the more the Israelites multiplied and spread, and the more alarmed the Egyptians became.
The person who made this decree was Satan, preoccupied by Pharaoh, or Pharaoh preoccupied by Satan. The more they crush these people, these Israelites, the more they multiply. The more they bring them to their very lowest point, the more God's power is strongest. That was what happened in Smyrna's church. Let me read this in church history, this history of the church. I have a book here, history of the church. Or what does a man say to this? Fellow Christians, when he is walking to his death, he said wonderful things, but I have written down one thing he said. Now I began to be a disciple. Let me make sure I have the right place. Okay. Yeah, now I began to disciple. He was near to the sword, near to God. This was what happened in this Smyrna church. Because the history of the church was dated to this time. And the people that lived in Smyrna, there's one of them called Polycarp. If you read church history, you'll have heard of Polycarp. Okay, these people, when they want to kill them, now I began to be a disciple. He who is near to his sword is near to God. He who is among the white beasts is in a company with God. Look at this is how they think in Smyrna. It is animal that kills them. So when you are with white animals, you are near with God. That's how they think. This man who went to his death. He wrote letters every night. When he rested, chained to his Roman soldier, he wrote one of his last letter to another minister in a place called Smyrna. This Smyrna that we are reading. It's a man called Polycarp. He wrote this. He says, "Stand fast, firm as an avail, though often smiting." 40 years later, Polycarp was martyred, and this is how it happened. Polycarp was a very old man. By this time, one day they held the Romans game in honor of the emperor. This was the problem they have that time. Emperor is always a problem. Satan entered politics to persecute the church. In the town of Smyrna, where Polycarp was the Christian bishop, the games got so exciting, the blood began to flow, and the crowd got worked up. Then somebody cried, "Away with these atheists." See, when they say someone's an atheist, it's different from what we call atheist now. The atheist is somebody who is the best that no God. But at their time, atheist is somebody who doesn't serve their God. Someone who doesn't serve their God is an
popular
atheist.
God.
The popular God. And Paul said something like that in Ephesians 2:9. Ephesians 2:9. Ephesians 2:9. He said, "Before you were godless." You were godless. It is because they were serving pagan God. So Paul too now used that phrase to say that you were not serving Yahweh. Anyone who is not serving Yahweh is godless, which is atheist. In the Greek word, that was is also atheist. But it doesn't mean that they are not serving God. They were serving Baal, they were serving whatever. But since they are not serving Yahweh, they are atheists. So today, people who say they are atheists truly, they are just denying Jehovah. They are denying God of the Bible, but they are serving their greed, they are serving their ego, they are serving their money, they are serving their power. So they are serving a God. It's just that they're not serving the God of the Bible. And that's the true definition of atheism. Now, they said, take away these atheists. They drag 11 Christians into the arena, call them atheists. Who is atheist? They call these Christian atheists. And then set the lion unto them in this manner. Jesus saw it. Jesus knows what is going through his church. Going through his church. Finally, things got so out of hand, the crowd began to cry for the blood of Polycarp, this old man. They began to cry for his blood. A Roman soldier was dispatched with few others soldiers to go and arrest him. And they came to a little cottage outside Smyrna, where Polycarp lived. They knocked at the door, and he came to answer. They did not recognize him, for they did not know him. They asked, is there a man called Polycarp here? If you are the one, what will you do?
I said, no, it's not here.
And they are trying to kill him. See what he said. They asked him, is there a man called Polycarp here? He could have said no. He has gone out. And he said later that he was tempted to do so. He was going to die, But the Lord gave him victory. Look at what they call victory. I guess if they were living in this our time, this coronavirus is He said, I am Polycarp. He told them, I'm the one you're looking for. Then he held out his wrist. Then he held out his wrist for the chain, and he was led to the arena. When the governor saw how old he was, he said, have pity upon your white ears. Just curse Christ. See today, you know what we'll do today? Christ knows I love him now. It's in my heart. I can just curse him and be alive. Curse Christ, and you can go back to your cottage. And Polycarp said this, 86 years have I served him, and he has never done me wrong. How then can I blaspheme now, my king, whom I serve? They could do nothing but kill him. The lions had been taken away, so they built a bonfire and tied him to a stick. But the wind was strong and blew the wind away from Polycarp, which deeply impressed the crowd. Finally, a Roman soldier, out of pity for the old man, plugged a dagger into his heart. The Christian recorded that martyrdom, and they finished the record with these words, but Jesus Christ will be king forever. This goes down as the governor, but Jesus' name goes down as the king. And this faith that they wanted to crush, because these were the next people after John, after Paul, after Peter, these were the next set of believers. They wanted to crush them so that in them Christianity will be extinct. It found us. As they crushed them, Christianity wasn't extinct. It found us. See, when Satan thinks he's crushing the believer, is crushing the faith, he thinks he's destroying the faith, yet that's what God used to spread the faith. But today, when we preach our version of gospel today, the sugar and butter kind of gospel that just ordinary, you don't have baby. The heaven has come down. It's that you're not praying enough, you're not fasting enough. Something's wrong with you. They come to our church. Ordinary fruit of the womb.
And you start to go from one pastor to another pastor.
Yeah.
Philippians 1:29. Philippians 1:29.
Wow. Our time is also fast spent.
Yeah, because this is about two more things and we are done.
129. For you have been given
129. Philippians 1:29.
For you have been given not only the privilege of trusting in Christ, but also the privilege of suffering for him.
So, but we don't hear that. The suffering is an integral part of this faith. See, it's not the time that is yuppie. But suffering sought out membership. For example, now in our Bible study, recently we did a series on bearing fruit. It was a tough one. It hooked me too. It hooked Sister Gwemi. It hooked for our cats. We could say, okay, God, let your will be done, but we know some people have left. Toughness sought out membership. So God also allows Christians to go through this. Remember what he said in Mark 4 and Mark 13, parable of the sower, when they are persecuted for believing in me, they fall away. Persecution strengthens membership. It sought out membership. So, hey, you are a believer. As Christ has suffered for you, as we stand for this faith, things happen in another life. But actually, there's somebody who told us, hey, I would have loved to stand alone, but I'm enjoying the benefit of the big church. I'm enjoying the business of the big church. I'm enjoying the contract I'm getting from the big church. But the big church is satanic.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying the benefit of the big church. If you need to stand alone for the purpose of truth, please do. So don't get me wrong here. Jesus is not saying that poverty is a sign of holiness. He's not saying that. Yeah, this church were persecuted. He said, yet they are rich. Don't get us wrong. I'm not saying that poverty is a sign of holiness, because there's a first thing preached in Catholic that if you are poor, the people they remain poor, then that's a sign of holiness. No. But what Christ is saying is that riches or the lack of it is not a sign of approval. Riches or the lack of it is not a sign of approval. Not that poverty is a sign of holiness. What Christ is teaching us in this church, through this church, is that riches or the lack of it is not a sign of approval. And look at the hope he gave to this church, this poor but rich church. I wish he would have given them money. No, he said, be faithful unto the end, and I will give you crown of life. So which means what happens in the next world is much more important to God than this one.
Than this current.
Because he should have given them temporary solution. We are too concerned about temporary solution. Verse 11, he who has ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the church. He who overcome shall not be hurt by the second death. Again, what he gives them is not bread and butter. What he gives them is assurance of eternal life. If you have eternal life, if you have eternal life, if you have eternal life, you have what money can't buy. You may not have acres of land. You may not be a big geo. This church was not mentioned in any part of the New Testament. But as small as they were, the owner of the church knows them. And these are the kind of churches we have to be praying for. And these are the kind of churches we have to be supporting. We are going to end this series by praying for this kind of churches, particularly in Nigeria. Those small churches, those small believers, those small groups that are very small. They don't even have billboard, they don't have signboard, they don't have Facebook, they don't have email, but they are shining the light of Christ. See, what Satan wants to do is to persecute them. I know the purpose of persecution, like Polycarp, so that they will give up.
Yeah, it's to see them out.
Is to quench their fire, so that the pastor who is pastoring that kind of church will also change from.
We also say, I can also gather big people. I can do all these things, and we'll pursue.
Because if we are preaching over and over, you will have been a good orator. So if it's oratory, they too have it. But their persecution is to squeeze them to a point whereby they will abandon the way of truth, which have brought them to that persecution, and follow the popular way. So we're going to pray for them, that God will strengthen them so that they will not give up. I'm not saying that they should have money. We need people like that to keep the fire burning in the land, so that the gospel doesn't go into extinction. I'm not asking that they should have big church, but I'm saying that God will strengthen them so that they will not give up. So let's pray for such. Okay, what do you want to say?
Actually, here, Jesus did not pray for them that they will have money. He didn't pray for them that, or he didn't say, don't worry, before the end of this year, this tribulation will end. He knows that, and he even said it, that they are going through tribulation right now, and what he promised them is also even more. He said, it's, you know, that the coming tribulation, but what I want from you is to be faithful to death.
Yeah. Yeah, because when churches like this, that is shining the light of Christ, as small as they are, they stop the darkness of the devil.
Yeah.
When Europe was going into religion and they forgot the path of light, that was when Islam began to spread. Islam spread not because they have money or strategy. Whenever there is no light, naturally there will be darkness.
Darkness grow immediately.
Why did Islam stop penetrating Europe? Small group were doing Bible study. Tiny little group were doing Bible study. That was what stopped Islam. So small churches like this, they are enough to stop the rot in Nigeria. Small. But before God, they are mighty. Let's pray for this kind of small churches. Or let's pray for many of them to spring up.
Yeah.
Many of these small, faithful churches to spring up in our country. So, Lord,
Father, we pray in the
for
name
our
of
land, we
Jesus.
pray for
We ask, oh God,
those who are laboring in the
every
truth.
of the church that
They may not be known,
church is
small, insignificant. Oh, thank you, Lord.
you will
We
strengthen
pray
them.
that you strengthen them, that they don't give up.
Oh, they will not give
We
up.
pray that you strengthen them,
We ask
that they don't quench.
the Lord God
We
Almighty
pray that you strengthen them, that they keep up in this
suffering
truth.
oppression,
In
tribulation.
the midst of their persecution, we pray that you will
We ask,
strengthen them,
God, that many of these
that your light will remain in that land. And we also pray that you give, let the small church, faithful churches spring up.
in tens, in 20.
Let the small churches spring up
in mega
everywhere, right? East, southeast, west, and north,
many
right?
ways
Everywhere.
of
Let
damnation.
small, faithful church that will be light to the land spring up, Lord.
Poverty or in riches,
All
oh
those
Lord, that they will be
Yes,
faithful.
Father.
In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
All right. I'm tempted to say this, but I have to say that in our land, the ones that are placing Christ are popular. We don't know them.
We don't know that.
Don't tell me any popular man. I don't need to. I've blocked all of them. I don't want any popular one. The ones that are doing the work of Christ don't have that. They don't have Facebook. They don't have Snapchat. They
And
are
if
still
you are in doubt, you think that maybe we are blasphemous, write us in the inbox. Let us have a personal chat. Thank you.